So as a Logsign is a cybersecurity provider company, it's a manufacturer, and we happily announced our new solution this year, Logsign Unified Security Operations Platform. And today I would like to introduce what is Unified Security Operations Platform. But before beginning, I want to say that Logsign is firstly had a SIEM solution, then we added SOAR with all the capabilities of all case management, playbooks, security automation and orchestration, and response. Then we added UEBA feature and threat intelligence. And recently we decided to have a unified security operations platform, which is including all the components as unified in a single platform. So it will improve the cybersecurity resilience, reduce the risks, and avoid the chaos. And let's see Logsign. Let's talk about Logsign at first. Then I would like to show the locations and a timeline for the evolution. As Logsign, we always enabled robust and clutter-free cybersecurity solutions and providing value-added services for over 10 years. And we enable all over the world, over 600 happy customers. So our locations, we based in our headquarters in the Europe, in Netherlands, The Hague. And we have an office in Istanbul, in Turkey, India, in the APAC region, and San Francisco in the North America. You can see our locations on the map. And to see about the evolution of Logsign as a timeline, it's founded in 2010, and 3 years later, we announced our first log management tool and start to sell. And in 2015, we extended our solutions with big data technologies and included NoSQL database and architecture. And Hadoop is integrated in SIEM firstly in 2015. And 2 years later, we enabled and launched our threat intelligence, which we have over 40 all around the world, and all free and all trusted feeds from all the world. And in 2018, we announced and launched our SOAR platform and created our own SOC lab with co-managed service launch. And 2 years ago, we extended again our SIEM solution as a next generation SIEM. And expansion of the EMEA and APAC regions are also enabled. Last year, we added UEBA feature, and in the beginning of this year, we announced our unified security operations platform and unified everything which we did previously. And hopefully the next year, Logsign will be fully multi-tenant and the cloud technologies will be available. And all around the world, we have over 15 distributors and over 100 channel partners and MSSPs. And Logsign is always followed by and recognized by all the security authorities and independent research companies like Gartner, KuppingerCole, Forrester, Cybersecurity Excellence, G2, Lobby, and more. Here you can see some peer insights from Gartner and Logsign reviews from G2. And we recently awarded as easiest to use, high performer, and easiest to set up solution in G2. And as I said, Logsign was always as an award winner company and award winner product family. So I would like to show here with what our clients struggles with. So on the chart on the left side, you can see the ENISA threat landscape, what our clients are struggling with ransomwares, disinformations or misinformations, malware, threat against availability, and such as internet threats, DNS service, and more, and supply chain attacks, and more. Again and again, we always have zero-day attacks, newly generated attacks. So Logsign is always able to handle them and ready to handle. And who benefits from these attacks and how? Here you can see that effects from these struggles actually, including the CEOs, CIOs, CFOs, human resources, and head of marketings, with different reasons and results. For example, for general business risks like highest level view of risks pertaining and overall business, brand protection, insider threats, all 180 functions and the protective monitoring of thereof, and more. So Logsign is here to handle and protect you against these struggles. So what is Logsign Unified Security Operations Platform actually? So as I said, Logsign helps organizations to improve their cyber resilience through avoiding risk and chaos. Besides, ensure compliance with relevant regulations by bringing together all the data, threat detection, investigation, and incident response capabilities on a single unified whole platform. And you can see the components of Logsign Unified Security Operations Platform. The first and main component is the next generation SIEM tool. And after it, the threat intelligence feeds and enrichment is available as another component. And Logsign is a company that always aware of the human factor in cybersecurity. So we last year added our UEBA tool into Logsign Unified SO platform. And finally, about our experiences on all the area for over 10 years and our product from SOAR, we added threat detection, investigation, and response. So we can say everything starts with event collection, ends with response into one single platform at Logsign. So how Logsign Unified SO platform differentiates with the others? And I will show our holistic approach to strong security strategy. And you will see some key points here that differentiates Logsign against the other ones, like unified whole platform, all in one. So I can say that everyone, our partners, our clients have a dream to have the best team, to have the best SOAR solution, to have the best threat intelligence feed, cyber threat intelligence solutions, and the best response tool like SOAR, but migrating them and deploying them separately, making the integration separately didn't work. So as a theoretical way, it's a good idea and opinion, but in a practical way, there is no completed project at access to maturity level. So having a unified whole platform will meet all the needs and will handle all the struggles they have. Again, another key point is ease of use. Hassle-free deployment, fast and stress-free sizing, and no hidden costs are helping everyone as Logsign. So let's look at Logsign Unified SO platform functions at a glance. So you can see the capabilities of Logsign Unified SO platform, including which features. Log management is the first point. Threat intelligence is the second point, because these are all unified to enrich the feeds and results every day and every time. And it also have reporting across the compliances, high visibility with a security analytics approach with hundreds of dashboards. And you will have threat detections, animal detection, insider threat detections with over 500 built-in detection rules. And after the rules, you will be aware of what to do, because you will have incident and case management and incident response with a comprehensive automation and orchestration features. And with the UEBA, you will feed everything and will be aware of all the notable users and the host insights, and be aware of the human factor in cybersecurity. And for the integration, this is the most important part of Logsign, because you have to be fully integrated with everything to have a full security orchestration. Logsign is able to be integrated with all network devices, operating systems, security tools, attack simulation and vulnerability tools, cloud applications, and everything. We have over 400 log collection, over 100 response integrations to fulfill and fully match all your needs. And as a unified security operations platform, it works seamlessly with other components of a security operations center. So So far, we have talked about the key features, and let's take a deeper look. Please note that before beginning, Logsign is the first Hadoop embedded SIEM solution. So not Hadoop integrated, actually, Hadoop embedded. So it brings Hadoop distributed file system and other benefits. And also it brings the advantage of having a scalable architecture as vertical and horizontal. So what does it mean? So let's consider you have one node in your production environments and with a limited EPS limit. So as the EPS can always increase or decrease, you can always extend your architecture as horizontal to handle more EPS values. And as horizontal, you can extend your architecture, and as vertical, you can have role-based, data-based, and service-based redundancy. So you can always extend your architecture up to enterprise-grade scalability and use the platform with active-active cluster architecture and HA. Plus, you will have long-term data storage and advanced data retention for hot and cold data. It is really, really fast and simple to deploy for the hybrid environments as well. And if you have a distributed network, for example, you have more than one locations or branches, you can deploy the leaves to different locations. You can consider the central SIEM as a tree, and the other locations are separate leaves. It will collect everything on the endpoints, parse, enrich, and send it to central SIEM on a secure protocol. So for the distributed environments, the deployment will be much more easy and powerful. And again, you will have the options to filter the unnecessary data and reduce the data noise with data policy management. And for log generation simulations, you can always use the demo mode, which we have about 500. So once the deployment finishes, you can see the capabilities of log management starting from data collection. The most important part after deploying a SIEM solution is the data collection. So Logsign helps users very well at this point because we have over 400 predefined data collection integrations, including various of different log sources and server types. If you don't see your integration in our lists, you can easily create a custom parser, a custom integration by yourself using 7 methods. If you don't want to do it, you can always ask it to our product team, and Logsign product team will create your integration for both data collection and response with no additional costs. This is a really important point that I want to highlight. All the integration services with Logsign is fully free. So you will have advanced parsing and indexing techniques and easy to work with normalized, classified, and also unstructured data. All the data, once you integrate it, will be enriched with advanced capabilities of using asset and identity management, threat intelligence, geolocation information, behaviors, contexts, and custom enrichments are always available using also network position and location services. So also you can easily do data manipulation and modification manually by yourself and easily. Here you can see some data collection techniques we have. We have 11 different integration methodologies. So that means if there is a data, Logsign will go and collect it. The important thing, the threat detection and investigation after the integration, because you don't have to get rid of and take care of everything step by step. Logsign says, just integrate it and I will detect it. And for the detections, we have different categories like threat and anomaly detections, phishing, malware, execution, and brute force, zero-day attacks, DDoS, IOC, and more. Several categories, and everything starts once you've done your integration. So you will be available to do drill down, full text, advanced, and loosen search capabilities. It's important to find the results that you're looking for, but it is more important to find them in a rapid way. Logsign provides this option with its fully NoSQL architecture and Hadoop embedded infrastructure. And all the responses to the queries that you're doing will be handled in milliseconds, just like you're searching a word on Google. You can find everything that you're looking for, and you will be able to do the threat hunting for the hidden threats, IOCs, validated threat levels, do incident triage, forensic investigations whenever you need. And with MITRE-ATT&CK and cyber kill chain frameworks, you will always be able to detect everything, make the analysis of the artifacts, see the attacker's origin, and make a detailed risk scoring. So for the detection rules, we have a real-time enrichment with advanced correlation. So for enrichment, we use several techniques and technologies, as I mentioned before, like asset and identities, behaviors, context, geolocations, positions, network locations, instant data processing with LDAP and Oracle. These are all for data enrichment for a comprehensive data detection. For correlation, we have over 500 predefined and built-in correlation rules. And all these rules have been prepared by using cyber kill chain framework and MITRE-ATT&CK parameters. So you can always create your own and add it using multiple correlation techniques like cross correlations, advanced rules, historical, rule-based, behavior-based, vulnerability or threat-based detections you can do with your rules. And you will also have built-in correlations for threat intelligence. So as we mentioned about the threat intelligence, Logsign have over 40 proven and well-trusted threat intelligence feeds from all around the world to enrich your data and provide you with insights to detect the threats and attacks. These are all in real time to make a deeper and comprehensive detections and have a look at for the detections while you're making the incident response. As I said before, Logsign have been always aware of the human factor in cybersecurity. So that's why we added UEBA tool into the solution. So Logsign UEBA uses advanced analytics to collect and analyze the data related to assets and identity. It analyzes specific threat data to determine whether the certain types of behavior represent a cybersecurity threat. So what you will have with UEBA? You will accurately detect advanced and insider threats. You will be always able to monitor the user access to critical data, prevent botnet infections, real-time entity context, and you will stop the data exfiltration and prioritize high-risk threats with identity-centric behavior analytics, threat maps to the MITRE-ATT&CK framework, and all-in-one solution with UEBA as well. And again, you will have a high visibility with a security analytics approach with hundreds of built-in dashboards with different categories like security infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, MITRE-ATT&CK, threat intelligence, identity management, account management, security overview, and everything. You will be able to monitor user access to critical data as well, real-time entity context, detect risky users and watchlist user behaviors with different categories of widgets. 24 different widgets are available for different teams to monitor different things with different color patterns to focus on the real security data. And with the incident and case management, detection is important, but the real job starts after the detection, because we have to know what to do after the detection. So again, Logsign helps users at this point again. So Logsign provides a response lifecycle that references the NIST incident response framework and stages. So you will be able to do artifacts, analysis, asset and identity management. you will be able to see the incident timelines. You will be able to see the incident summary with the detailed views, visual cards for investigation, detection and response, and able to manage the incident lifecycle across the NIST incident lifecycle management. For the incident response, you will be able to do automated and semi-automated responses as well. Not for responses, you can consider the investigations to collect more insights, to collect more deeper details from the SIEM. You can go back to SIEM, go back to UEBA every time because it's a unified solution. So Logsign Unified Security Operation Platform can take automatic actions. That is what we call is quick actions with magic button. So with one-click actions, you can take your actions on your centralized network and the other tenant network. So for the reporting and compliance, I would like to say some words about it also. As Logsign, we have a really comprehensive experience in all around the world for all the regulations and compliance as well. So we provide over 1,000 built-in reports across the compliances like GDPR, GLBA, ISO, PCI DSS, HIPAA, SOX, and more. These are all generated as general and vendor specific, and you can always download and start to use and be compliant and feel safe. So you can easily create new ones and configure the new ones using the report wizards. And after you create it, exporting and scheduling them are so simple, and it will take only a few seconds. You will have ad hoc and executive reportings and delegation feature for all the features I mentioned for different teams to see the reports for different things and actions. Yes, technical capabilities we already talked about. Let's talk about the licensing. So Logsign has a stress-free project sizing, no hidden cost, no limit for EPS or volume or log source. It's fully feature-based. We have a licensing plan as feature-based against the traditional SIEM licensing. So starting from business up to platinum, you will not have any capacity of EPS, log sources, or users, just feature-based. If you only wish to have SIEM capabilities, you can proceed with essential or business. If you also want the threat intelligence and response capabilities and incident management, you will have the guards. If you want to add UEBA to guards, the plan will be advanced. If you have more than one locations and want to manage it as centralized, you will have premium, and platinum plan is all-in-one with cluster and HA architecture. It's really stress-free and understandable and feature-based licensing plan that we have an approach since last year. Here are some happy and trusted customers all around the world and in different industries like healthcare, education and higher education, finance, bank, and more. You can always stay with us accessing the Logsign portal on supportlogsign.com. It includes the SIEM guide with all the documentations, community to discuss everything with Logsign experts and each other, and you can always submit a request, everything about Logsign. And plus, we have Logsign Academy. This is the e-learning platform of Logsign and including all the courses and videos for the trainings. And it is free to sign up, get the courses and certificates. And before finishing, I would like to mention about the customer satisfaction ratio. We have 98% customer satisfaction ratio based on the information and the data we got from Zendesk. Yes, thank you for your patience and listening to me, but it's not finished. I would like to show the demonstration, but before jumping to demonstration, if you have any questions, I would like to respond.
No questions so far.
Okay.
We can go on with the demo.
Okay, again, I will share my screen with the product screen.
Okay, yes, we can see it.
Are you able to? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, the funny part, the product demonstration is starting, and I would like to show what I told during the presentation. So the most important point to have a unified security operations platform is to start with the integrations, because without the integrations, you can't do anything. You have to do correct integrations with correct assets. But Logsign is near with you and supporting you with over 500 built-in integrations. You can always see the previous ones. When you click on settings, you will see the data collection tab. And using 11 techniques, you can easily integrate your sources. And mostly you use syslog integration, as you know, for security and network devices and others. If you click on the vendor lists, you will see over 400 built-in vendors here. For example, if you want to integrate a Fortinet device, Logsign will ask you which product of Fortinet you want to integrate. Because for each product of each vendor, we have separate integrations and parsers. For example, FortiAnalyzer, FortiMail, FortiSandbox, FortiManager, or FortiGate. So if you selected your device, what to do? You can just provide the IP and give the name and go. This is enough, and everything will start. The show will start automatically. The data will be collected, parsed, enriched, categorized, and the detections will start. You don't have to do anything else. If you integrate your device, for example, you can directly jump to dashboards to start monitoring the attack analysis, for example. For all the most well-known devices like Cisco, Symantec, Kaspersky, Trend Micro, Sophos, and more, you can easily integrate. And if you don't see your vendor in the list, don't worry about it. We have a custom plugin feature, and you can easily add a new one if you have a sample of the log. Here you can see 7 different methods. You can add the new parser with rule or multiple rule, including the white spaces, IP patterns, time patterns, and everything. Or you can do it with regular expression, key value, JSON, W3C, or common event formats. Really easy to integrate and add the new parsers. Then you can deploy and start using, and you will see all the integrations customly generated. You can type custom and you can see the custom generated plugins here. And again, it's important to highlight these points. If you couldn't succeed to create your parser, or if you don't want to do it, just ask it to our product team and they will create your integration with no additional cost. And also, if you have some applications running on clouds, you can use API integration for the hybrid environments like Office 365 and management with the content types of Azure Active Directory, Exchange, General DLP, or SharePoint to get all the activities from the clouds. Also G Suite for Google-based environments. Upload your P12 file and get the activities of admin driver login. Or VMware vCenter, Blue Coat, Sophos XDR, Sentinel-1, Acronis, F-Secure, Cloudflare, and more. Also, we have a JDBC connector to get the logs from your PostgreSQL or SAP applications. Or you can read and get the events from any database using MS SQL, Oracle connectors. And if you want to read the logs from any file or a folder, according to the operating system, you can use SFTP or SMB share. And from Microsoft servers and workstations, for an agentless log collection, you can integrate them with WMI. And for an agent-based, you can use and Xlog, which is fully integrated with Logsign or Winlog bits, Snare, Epilogue, and the other ones, if you wish, we can add. And for the network devices, the collected data from the network devices to detect the layer 2 and layer 3 traffic, to detect the insider threats and bandwidth usage, you can use NetFlow version 5 and 9, SFlow, IPFix, and if needed, GFlow can be added. And special integrations with 2 vendors, FileOrbis File Management System and GTB is also available. And to segregate the results from the leaf collectors is able on Logsign again. You can integrate each leaves as a log source to segregate the results to have a more granular monitoring. So it's really easy to integrate your devices on Logsign like this. In a half of a day, you can finish integrating everything. And you can also use the demo mode. So what is the demo mode? Demo mode is the simulation mode of Logsign. For example, you have checkpoint firewall and want to change it to force point. And before moving to that device, you can come to demo mode and enable that device. Then Logsign SIEM will start to generate sample logs according to your selection or selections. So what is the use case for it? Before changing the device, you will be able to see which events are coming or which event categories Logsign is getting, how it's making the enrichment and parsing, and which detections and monitorings can be done before making their integrations. You will be ready. So these are all including the real data with the confidential information. These are the integration types and methods for the data collection. Let's focus on responses. We moved all these response integration framework totally from Logsign SOAR to Logsign SIEM itself. It has firstly API approach to get integrated with the devices. Let me refresh my page. I think I have a connection issue.
We have a question in the meantime. Maybe you can use the time.
Sure.
It's about the installation. Do you support full on-premise installation? Is it possible to describe a little bit about the architecture, virtual appliance hardware, and some limitations that might be?
Okay, thank you for the questions. This is a point that I had to focus on actually. Yes, for now, Logsign is a fully on-prem solution. And as I said, in the next year, fully cloud available will be, but it can be deployed on all the physical appliances or virtual appliances, supporting VMware, Hyper-V, Citrix Zen Server, or other ones. It can be deployed on physical or hardware or on the private clouds. For example, if the client have their own AWS environment or Azure or anything, Google Cloud, for example, we can also deploy it on them. For a hybrid integration, hybrid deployment is important. It's fully on-prem, but can be deployed also on the private clouds as well.
Okay.
And I think there is no more questions and my connection is fixed.
Great. Let's move on.
Thank you. Let's look at the response integration framework and the devices we add. From various integrations we have for investigation tools, threat intelligence platforms, security devices, databases, messaging or ticketing platforms, and more. And we have firstly API approach to get integrated with such devices. For example, if you want to integrate your Arbor Edge Defense DDoS protection device, which methods and which actions you will get by integrating it, Logsign will show you. Also, if you have Aruba wireless controller or ClearPass device, you can easily get endpoint details by MAC, get guest accounts, disconnect an active session, or other devices. If you integrated your firewall, you can block an IP or URL or unblock for recovery stages. Also, if you integrate your LDAP, you can disable a user or reset a password. And for EDR solutions, you can do more. You can shut down a computer or reboot, kill a process, delete a file or registry, or even you can wipe data, lock screen, disable camera or Wi-Fi on Android devices as well. So also for the ticketing platforms and messaging platforms, for Telegram or Microsoft Teams or SMS, you can always use them for notifications. So hundreds of integrations are available on Logsign, not for only data collection, also for the response. And you can see the block lists if you're running these incident response actively. And after you integrated your responses, for the fully automated response processes, you have to create your action rules. So one by one, you can create some separate action rules for blocking the IP address, block IP, shut down host, kill a process, send email, or you can set one action rule, including more than one action. For example, we have a new rule here. If you view it for these detections, brute force over Oracle, dumping LSA secrets, flood events, and external port scanning activities, Logsign will go and automatically block the IP, kill a process on the destination, and send SMS to the related managers. So if you don't need to ask anyone or anything to take an action, you can use the action rules as automated response. And I will show the semi-automated response within the incident management features. So once you finish your integrations, let's see how you can search and find the results. For today, we have over 1 million of events, and I'm in the search now. Search is the pool of each events are stored from the integrated log sources and enabled on the demo mode. So you can see the total amount of data for today, or you can change the time frame, and you can use the smart filters for a quick look and data aggregation. For example, you can see the mostly active IP addresses with accounts, or mostly visited destinations, users, used applications, or you can see from which event source, how many events we collected so far. Here you can see over 10 different log sources with different formats are sending the logs to Logsign. So how we can search and find the results? What do we have to know? You don't have to know anything. Any script language, any query language, you can just type a word, just like searching a word on Google. For example, among 1 million of events, if you want to see the virus activities, just type virus and get it. But correct type, yes. Yes, you get 18,000 of events just within a few seconds, including the word of virus. It is showing the results for system operations, virus detections, web access blocks. And according to your filter you added, you can aggregate the results again. And for web access blocks, you can click on any detail. Each line of log has different colors according to the severities. You can click on one to see the human readable style of Logsign. We use nested column architecture during the normalization. So what is the nested column architecture and what is the advantage of it? And if an event comes, all the details about the client will be under source. Source IP, source username, source hostname, source country, source location, and all the details about source will be under source and will be categorized. And all details about events, objects, rule, time, destination. So what is the advantage? Just click on one detail, for example, source IP, and remove the other filter. Now you have only the results for this IP address, including user logouts, web access, detections, user login denies, and everything, attack info. And you can see over which device, how many activities this IP have. So it doesn't matter. from which event source, with which format the data is coming. Logsign is doing the normalization in nested column architecture for a quick data aggregation and to be used more healthy in the correlation rules. And you can use some combined filters. For example, if you only want to see the DNS activities for this IP address, you can just type and filter it. Then you can always use and or not Boolean operators, because we are using Apache Lucene query language here, but you don't have to know it. You can use round, square, or curly brackets to define some intervals. Or you can define some wildcards. If someone has watched or downloaded an MP4 file, you can just click on to see source and destination details and files that is watched or blocked. But if you don't know how to search any results, you can just type 2 ads to see the pre-built mini queries. And you can type, for example, delete to see if a database deleted group, file, or user. Get the results and make a deep dive investigation and drill down analysis. And you can also do a time analysis for the filtered events. If you see any peak or you want to focus on a specific area, you can select here with your mouse and reduce the data internal. And you know 36 events, group the results and aggregate or make drill down analysis. Or you can quickly create a report or you can jump to dashboards. Let me show you the monitoring capabilities of Logsign. This is the main dashboard. It's showing all the activities in the last 24 hours, but these are all the built-in ones with different categories. And they also have some subcategories for security, database, application server, file integrity monitoring, system events, application server, MITRE ATT&CK, and more. For example, you integrated your firewall or security device. Just come to here and start monitoring the attack analysis. Internal attackers detected or external ones, to which destinations? Used ports or interfaces. If the attacks are detected, blocked, or just for information, you can always edit and change the color patterns to different colors. For example, mix 2, preview, and go. You can update it. And from which countries, for how many times they are attempted to connect. Or other type of monitorings like security overview to see all security activities with the categories like spam, malware, virus, DLP, file integrity, risky countries, and attack detection categories. Also, if you enable Logsign Threat Intelligence, you will also see the threat intelligence analysis with the categories and overview data, or MITRE ATT&CK dashboard you will have. You'll also be available to monitor the database activities, including all the data categories and worked objects and database names, action types, and executed commands and queries on database. Also, for the identity management, you can monitor your account management activities, created and deleted users, enabled or disabled, locked or password change activities or reset or expired passwords. If you only want to focus on one result, for example, you want to see only Arthur's result, you can use the dynamic search filter. Just type Arthur and let all the widgets be refreshed according to the results for Arthur in source or destination. And without removing the filter, you can jump to other dashboards. See VPN activities of Arthur. Or remove it to see all the activities. Failed logons, VPN time analysis, and activities. And what's more is you can monitor your application servers, network, including the bandwidth analysis, protocol center, HTTPS analysis, and traffic awareness. And you will have the option to monitor the file integrity monitoring. If someone has changed the permission of any file or folder, or someone has moved a file, read, write, delete, or executed some files or folders, you will be able to see, monitor, and if you click on any detail, you will be forwarded to search for more drill down analysis. And event taxonomies, system events, all the triggered alerts can be monitored, and you can always add your own dashboards and widgets with 24 different widget types for different visuals, contents, and color patterns, and go. You don't have any limit to create a new dashboard or a widget. Let's quickly talk about the reporting features because the compliance is important. And due to your integrations, you can easily install your built-in reports. For example, if you integrated your checkpoint firewall, you can easily select checkpoint and see firewall traffic events. We have 16 new reports, and content filtering, application control, or smart defense. We have 8 reports. Just click on download and it's installed. Then you can go back to reports to see your new reports for checkpoint smart defense, including the user attack analysis. And we have 10 different report types, and including grouped analysis, table type, map reports, group plus, histogrammic, and group plus with histogram for mathematical calculations as well. You can search and find your reports by their names, category and report types, and the compliance. For example, if you only want to see your PCI DSS regulation tagged reports with group plus type, click on Windows Account Management, for example, and you have 6 reports. For example, unlock event analysis. You will see the unlocker users, which destinations, on which domain, and what is the action. You can always extend your table and your graph, change the style. Or again, you can use the smart filters on the left side, just like in the search. Or you can add, for example, we have Ella here, just like Ella. And without editing the report, you will filter the results in source or destination. Or you can do time analysis again. And you can always export this report with PDF, Excel, or HTML format. And after you exported it, you can easily download it or send it to anyone with one single click. Or you can schedule it to be sent to the related people and teams, as single or multiple. In the one single PDF or HTML, you can add more than one report results. For example, malware events, virus detections, for example, disabled accounts, and more. You can add graph or the table, select the time range, for example, every day, send yesterday's malware, virus, and disabled account events. Format, repeat, schedule, recipients, and expiry times can be selected, and in the one single report, you will be compliant and feel safe. So far we have talked about the log management capabilities and SIEM capabilities mostly. Let's talk about the detection and response capabilities, which are actually more funny. And here it is. We have the behaviors and the lists in the beginning, before jumping the correlation rules. The behaviors and the lists are always running to detect the abnormal activities in sites and insider threats. For example, let's see how Logsign detects the brute force attacker hosts. It's looking at all the logon failure activities, and if one IP address has logged in failure in the last 6 minutes over 100 times, these IP will be added to this list, and Logsign can tag it as suspicious attacker or victim. So you can always find your suspicious IPs, attacker hosts, or victim users. This is for a data enrichment feature. Also, you can use the behaviors for not for only brute force attacker host detections. You can also detect the DDoS attackers or port scanning activities, exploit detections, vulnerabilities, ransomwares, bad rabbits, SQL injections, P2P application usage, and more. This is the context type of enrichment. If you say context, source IP, suspicious, it will show you your suspicious IPs. If you don't have it today, let's look at last week, and you will find your suspicious IPs, and you will be also able to see that why this IP is suspicious. Logsign will show it. So you can use these behaviors for data enrichments, for UEBA for a detailed risk scoring, and also in the correlation rules. We have about 600 built-in rules with different categories like brute force, collection, command and control, DDoS, discovery, malware, threat, vulnerability, and more. For these rules are all prepared by cyber kill chain parameters and MITRE ATT&CK framework. For only one tactic of MITRE ATT&CK, defense evasion, we have 83 different rules and scenarios. For example, if an exclusion path is added to Windows Defender via PowerShell, just add it, or search if it is detected. You will see the conditions. If a process created, and in the message text, if it includes and contains these words, this rule will run, but you can also add a new condition. If the source IP that executed this command, you can add some conditions to run it as in memory. Also, you can use the behaviors. If the source IP executed this command is listed as brute force attacker hosts. And you can now add a cross correlation rule. For an advanced rule, you can add more than one. Again, if the same IP behaved or not behaved as port scanner hosts. This is how we add as end. Let me show you how we are. If the same IP, again, listed as infected hosts, port scanner host, or spyware activity on many hosts. This is how we are. And you can use the context in the behaviors if this IP is tagged as suspicious before. And now you have an advanced correlation rule for an advanced detection. When you come down, you will see the action column and you can select your action rules. If this rule is detected, do not ask it to anyone. Go and block the source, shut down the destination, isolate the host from the network, and send mail and SMS to everyone, for example. Tag it with MITRE ATT&CK, send it to SOAR. So just like this, we have about 600 detection rules. But what to do after the detections? You will all see them on the search or inside the incidents. 9 hours ago, we have an off-hours login attempt, but you will always see if a spam activity detected, threat intelligence, or everything. You will see the created case and action object that triggered this rule. For how many times? What is the priority and risk score? Owner and the category can be seen. We finished the SIEM part, jumping to SOAR part, and enriching the results with threat intelligence. You can click on to see some details, but if you click on more, you will see all the details about these created incidents. This is the name of the case, an assignee. You can always assign to other users for a detailed collaboration or escalation. And you can always see at which stage you are. This is the NIST incident response stages. For these incidents, we are in the stage of analysis. And here it is. You can see the action objects. This is the object that triggered this rule. Incident count is 2. Risk score is for today is 45, but it had another activities. So total risk score is 145. And also it shows the artifacts. Artifact means with how many different IPs, URLs, hosts, or users this user is related. You can see them in the artifacts tab. You can see the type of these objects, total and open incident count, first seen and last seen. If they are detected, these assets and artifacts will be enriched automatically, but you can do it as manually. I know this internal IP and it is related with the user Jack, for example. And you can see the total incident count of Jack and open incidents. It's also, again, risky. We will see them in the UEBA. And first seen and last seen details. So let's start to analyze the results. There is no entities matched with this system user in the UEBA. And incidents we have before 45, 45, 45, and now it's 135. So these are all still open incidents. And you can see the incidents, and on the near it, you will see the evidence, the events that triggered these incidents. If there is any country information, you will see in the intelligence map and the notable events for this user. Network connections, if exists, process creations, file deletions, DNS connections, or all the identity information as a table. And the last triggered alert. So we finished our analysis. So what to do or how to extend our analysis. Here we have a magic button with Logsign logo. If you click on it, you will see all your response integrations. If you click on Logsign, you can go back to SIEM and collect more evidence and deep dive investigation. For example, get registered service activities, failed logons, file deletions, network connections, or you can run custom queries. Or if you found an IP address related with threat intelligence, you can also ask it to abuse IP, X-Force, VirusTotal to make a double check. And once you do that, the response count will increase. For example, if you click on Logsign and get, for example, successful logon activities for today, if exists, it will create a table with the details. And response count is 1, but we are again at the stage of analysis. You can investigate the related IPs on the third-party threat intelligence platforms and investigation tools and be sure. And you can jump, if you decide that the IP is risky, you can block it on the firewall. And you can, for example, kill a process on the destination. Define a special PID, select the host from the list and submit. And successfully, you kill the process and you jump the containment stage because you didn't block the source. You jump to the eradication step. You can recover, for example, update the endpoint agents, fix the firewall rules, and make the recovery. And for the post-incident stage is mostly for security operations center teams to have a session, lessons learned session. Why did we have this incident and what to do not to have it again? Then you can close it. And you can always escalate it. For example, if you want this user to be disabled, you can send it to your system administrator. Then if you finished your work, you can close it with false positive, no action needed, results or other description. You can just save it. And if anyone is joined to this incident, they can see all the previously taken actions and close actions and by which user it's closed. This is how you can do the incident lifecycle management with Logsign. And after all, you can also monitor everything on the triggered correlations and run incident responses, suspicious objects, time analysis, notable alerts, categories, and an interactive dashboard of our slogan attempts for 563 times. Click on from which users for how many times. And action object-based monitorings are also available to see your suspicious hosts, critical level detections, and attacker users, how many times they're triggering some rules, and some other monitors are available. And before finishing, let me show you the UEBA tool, which is providing more security approach to the users as well. But before it, you have to make your integration with LDAP successfully. You can add more than one. Then you have to synchronize it to get all your assets and identity information. And it's including all the username, department, hostname, operating system, organizational unit details. And if one of these objects are triggered or detected by any alert rules or behaviors, you will be monitoring it in the UEBA. You will see your total user counts and with urgency scores as critical and high, device counts and incident counts. And you will have a matrix of incidents for the last 1 week, showing if there is how many incidents happened, how many behaviors are triggered. It will show with different colors. If there is no incident, only behaviors, it will be blue. And dividing every hour to 4 different parts in 15 minutes, it is showing. If there is an incident happens, you will be able to see the severity color of it. And all under them, you will see top notable users, top notable devices with the risk scores and risk trend changes, if it's increasing or decreasing. Also, the next tab is showing the user urgency scores, risk trend changes in the last 1 week, activity trends, and the user scores. The same for the devices as well. If you click on one, you will see the administrator user activities, again with the matrix of the incidents. You can see the member of each groups, identity risk levels, first seen, last seen, email, phone, and other details, and how many events it have. You will have a monitor like this, and if you click on view all, you will be jumped to search, alerts triggered, incidents that are still open, how many devices used administrator users to communicate, accounts, locations and behaviors, user who log in successful with multiple IPs, and IOCs related. This is the risk score, and in the timeline, you can see in the last 1 week, the activities, what affected the risk score of this user in the last 1 week. If you close an incident, it will be decreased. If a new one is created, it will be increased. So in the UEBA, you can also feed the other features, and the other feature also get the feeds from the UEBA. So to summarize all the results, I would like to finish before my time. I want to leave 10 minutes for your questions. And thank you for your listening to me. And with Logsign, I can summarize that everything starts with data collection, goes on with monitorings, compliance reporting, detection, response, and UEBA in the one single platform with Logsign. That's what Logsign's unified security operation platform is offering to you. Thank you for listening to me. And if you have any questions, I'm open for your all friendly questions. Thank you.